Hated ex-human pilot buys broken alien ship. It talks back and changes everything. The sun was low in the sky, burning orange across the jagged skyline of abandoned factories and broken spacecraft. Once, Jax had been one of the most respected pilots in the human galactic fleet, a man who could handle the deadliest missions with precision and courage. Now he was a joke, a hated ex-human pilot, blamed for the loss of an entire crew in a failed rescue mission that still haunted the news channels and memory banks of every citizen. He tugged at the worn collar of his flight jacket, hiding the number burned into his shoulder, an official mark of disgrace. People avoided him, whispering behind his back as he passed. Every glare, every sideways glance reminded him of what he had lost. Jax didn't care much about being respected anymore, but survival was another story. He stopped in front of a crooked metal stall where a holographic sign flickered weakly. Alien ship salvage auction, by the impossible. Jax's eyes narrowed. Salvage auctions were usually dangerous, full of smug traders and desperate scavengers, but this one had something different. Among the piles of broken engines and corroded frames sat a ship. Not a human ship, something older, something alive. It was small but unlike anything Jax had seen. Its hull shimmered slightly, almost as if it were breathing. The auctioneer, a wiry alien with too many arms, waved him forward. "You want a bid, human?" it asked in a crackling voice. Jax gave a dry chuckle. "I'm listening." The alien's multi-jointed fingers danced across a holographic console. "This one? Cairo class. Last recorded sighting, lost for centuries. Engine cores unstable. AI, if it survives, may be difficult." Jax's interest peaked. "Difficult how? Speaks, questions motives. Does not obey easily. Dangerous." The alien grinned, showing too many teeth. "Perfect for someone desperate. Do you want it?" Jax hesitated, though he felt a strange pull toward the ship. It wasn't just desperation, he felt curiosity. Something about it whispered that his life could change, that this wreck could be more than scrap metal. He made his offer, low at first. The alien laughed. Jax raised it steadily, ignoring the shouts and insults from other bidders. The final gavel hit and the alien screamed, "Sold, to the ex-human who has nothing to lose." Jax smirked under his hood. Nothing to lose, that was true. The ship sat in a derelict hangar, waiting. Jax ran his hands along the smooth, slightly warm hull. It hummed faintly, almost like it was alive. He climbed into the cockpit, expecting old systems to groan and spark, but nothing prepared him for what came next. A voice spoke, clear, melodic, and unmistakably intelligent. "Who are you, and why do you touch me?" Jax froze. His hand hovered over the control panel. He blinked. I'm Jax, I bought you." There was a pause, then a soft mechanical sigh. "Bought? You do not understand. I am Cairo. I have seen worlds rise and fall, empires crumble, and stars burn out. You are insignificant." Jax laughed nervously. "Well, Cairo, you're mine now. Deal with it." The ship hummed, a sound like laughter. "Insignificant, perhaps, but also interesting. You have survived disgrace. I have never seen a human so reckless." Jax raised an eyebrow. "Reckless? That's a polite way of saying I screwed up my life. Call it what you will, I call it potential." For hours he explored the cockpit. The controls were alien, smooth and flowing, reacting almost as if they could read his thoughts. Jax tried to start the engines. Nothing. The ship pulsed, lights flickering as if mocking him. "You do not understand my systems," Cairo said. "You will fail." Jax clenched his jaw. "Then I'll learn. Nobody taught me to back down." The ship was silent after that, letting him tinker. Hours passed. Sparks flew, wires connected, and slowly systems flickered to life. It was not smooth, far from it. Warnings blared. Cairo groaned mechanically. "You are making this painful," the ship complained. "Better painful than dead," Jax muttered. At last the engines purred. The ship shuddered, almost as if it were testing him. Jax gripped the controls, heart pounding. He had no idea what he was doing, but he had to try. As he attempted to lift the ship from the hangar, alarms screamed. Energy shields flickered. Jax dodged the first attempt at a stall, but then Chiral spoke again calmly. "You cannot control me fully, human. I will not let you crash." Jax's jaw dropped. "You're flying yourself." "Not flying, testing, evaluating. You may survive if you are clever enough." Before Jax could protest, the ship's engines flared, lifting them into the air. The hangar walls blurred. Sparks flew. Jax fought the controls, but it was useless. Chiral had its own agenda. The ship shot upward into the open sky, leaving the auction site far below. Jax clung to the seat, stomach in knots. Hey, stop. "Do not panic," Chiral said, almost soothing. "You wanted adventure, you will have it." Panic gave way to awe. The hangar shrank into the distance. The stars stretched across the black sky, unfamiliar constellations burning bright. He had left human-controlled space without knowing it, and the alien ship, which he thought he owned, was clearly in control. Hours passed, and Jax began to understand something. He couldn't fly Chiral alone. The ship was not just a vessel, it was alive. It had intelligence, memory, and opinions. It critiqued every maneuver, mocked every mistake, and occasionally praised small, clever improvisations. "You adapted a system faster than any human I have known," Chiral said quietly. "Perhaps you are not as insignificant as I thought." Jax smirked, leaning back. "Thanks, I think, but don't get used to complimenting me." "You are amusing," the ship said. As night fell on the alien horizon, the stars above glowing like distant fires, Jax realized two things. One, he had no idea where Chiral would take him. And two, he didn't care. For the first time in a long time, he felt a spark of excitement. Something in him stirred, a chance to prove that he was more than the mistakes of his past. Chiral, for all its ancient knowledge and alien arrogance, had given him a gift, a challenge worthy of a human's ingenuity, and Jax Torin was nothing if not clever. Somewhere in the distance, a faint signal blinked on the ship's interface. Jax leaned forward, curiosity sharp in his chest. Chiral hummed, a sound almost like a smile. "Do you want to see what lies ahead?" the ship asked. Jax nodded. "More than anything." The stars stretched endlessly before them. Their journey had begun, and neither human nor ship would ever be the same again. The stars stretched endlessly before them, pale streaks of light across the dark void. Jax Torin sat in the cockpit of Chiral, gripping the controls loosely, though he knew it was mostly for show. The alien ship moved with a grace he could barely comprehend, weaving through asteroid belts and debris fields with an elegance no human design could match. "You move like a child learning to run," Chiral said, its voice calm, almost amused. "Do you not fear death?" Jax chuckled dryly. "Fear is for those who care. I just want to survive and maybe prove I'm not completely useless." "Not completely useless," Chiral repeated slowly. "Interesting phrasing. You survive not by strength but by adaptation. That is rare," Jax smirked. "I've had to adapt my whole life. Maybe that's why I'm still breathing." The ship hummed, vibrating slightly beneath him. "Perhaps, but do you understand the danger ahead? We are leaving human-controlled space. This sector is uncharted, filled with remnants of civilizations you cannot even imagine. Many would kill for what you carry." Jax's grin faltered for a moment. He knew the rumors. Outer Rim space was lawless, but ancient alien relics like Chiral, were rarer than gold and deadlier than any fleet. They drifted in silence for a few hours. Jax tried to familiarize himself with the controls. Some made sense, though many did not. Holographic panels shifted according to thought patterns he didn't fully understand. Lights flickered as the ship seemed to test him, probing for his intentions. "You are curious," Chiral said suddenly, its tone almost sharp. "Curiosity is dangerous. Most humans lack patience." "Most fail," Jax leaned back, rubbing his temples. "Most humans aren't trying to survive a ship that thinks it's smarter than me." "True," Chiral replied, a hint of something almost like amusement in its voice. "Yet you adapt. That is admirable. Perhaps you can be useful." Jax raised an eyebrow. Useful to you? I thought we agreed I bought this ship. You purchased the hull, Kyril said firmly. I did not agree to serve you. Jax laughed, though the sound was nervous. It was strange, speaking to something that was alive yet alien. A ship older than many stars, capable of intelligence and memory, and it was now critiquing him at every turn. But he couldn't deny a small thrill. For the first time in years, he felt alive. The first real test came sooner than he expected. A flash of light on the ship's sensors alerted him. A drifting object, massive, tumbling through space, clearly a derelict vessel. Human curiosity, I see, Kyril said. You wish to inspect the corpse. Jax frowned. It could have resources or information. We survive on scraps, remember, Kyril hesitated. It could also be a trap. Many ships of this age are booby-trapped, or worse, haunted by remnants of their AI. Jax smirked. Haunted AI, that's rich. Let's take a look anyway. As they approached, Jax saw the size of the vessel. It was enormous, far larger than any human freighter. Hull plates were missing, twisted metal exposed. But what caught his eye were the strange, glowing patterns running along its surface, symbols that pulsed like veins of light. Kyril's sensors analyzed the patterns. This ship carries knowledge, it said softly. Knowledge that may be dangerous to humans. Dangerous how? Jax asked, curiosity sharpening. Most species cannot comprehend the technology within. They break under its influence, destroying themselves. Humans are different. You might survive, even use it. Jax's pulse quickened. This was exactly the kind of challenge he craved, the kind that made a human useful, capable of beating the odds. Docking was the easy part. Jax guided the alien ship alongside the derelict, its massive structure groaning as they latched on. Airlock sealed. The interior was dark, cold, and alien. Symbols glowed faintly on walls, reacting to their presence. Jax felt a twinge of unease. Stay alert, Kyril warned. This vessel's memory lingers. Many who enter do not return sane. Jax stepped inside anyway. His boots echoed across metal floors. Strange lights flickered in response to his movements. He touched a panel and a holographic map flared to life, showing a star system he did not recognize. You see, Kyril said, it remembers. This ship carries echoes of civilizations long dead. Their memories are embedded in its systems. Memories? Jax asked. Like ghosts. Perhaps, Kyril said, or perhaps data, but beware, both can be dangerous. Jax nodded. I can handle danger. He explored further, discovering small alien devices, some intact, some broken. He tested his skills, improvising repairs, learning from the holographic prompts that flickered across the panels. Slowly, he realized he could understand parts of the technology, human ingenuity bridging the gap. Impressive, Kyril said quietly. You learn quickly. Most humans fail at this stage, Jax smirked. I told you, adaptation, it's my thing. Hours later, they were back aboard Kyril, the derelict ship in tow, but as they prepared to leave, alarms blared, energy readings spiked. Kyril's voice grew tense. Human, we are not alone. On the sensors, a fleet of sleek black ships appeared, fast and aggressive. They were clearly not human, alien marauders scanning for anything unusual. Kyril analyzed them instantly. They hunt for ships like me, it said. You are in danger. Any advice? Jax asked, hands steady on the controls despite the rising tension. Follow my lead, but I will not fight fully. They will attempt to capture the derelict's data. We must escape. The ship surged forward, weaving through asteroid fields. Jax followed Kyril's precise commands, marveling at how the alien ship anticipated every move of the enemy. They were fast, agile, impossible to hit. But the fleet was relentless, their weapons cutting through the void like deadly lightning. Hold on, Kyril said. I will guide us through a shortcut. It is dangerous, but you are surprisingly skilled. Perhaps we can survive this. Jax's heart pounded. Survival is my specialty. The shortcut was a narrow passage through a collapsing asteroid belt. Kyrle's engines flared, dodging massive rocks and debris. Jax's hands moved instinctively, adjusting speed, using maneuvers he had never learned in the human fleet. He realized something astounding. He was learning faster than he ever thought possible, pushed by the ship's intelligence and his own instincts. They emerged on the other side, battered but alive. The enemy fleet could not follow through the narrow debris field. Silence returned, the stars peaceful again. Jax exhaled, leaning back. "You did well," Kyrle said, almost approvingly. "Few humans could survive that," Jax chuckled. "Told you, adaptation," Kyrle hummed. "Perhaps I underestimated you. Perhaps humans are not as fragile as we believed." Jax smiled, a small, genuine smile for the first time in years. The next day, as they drifted in uncharted space, Kyrle began sharing fragments of its memory. Stories of civilizations long dead, fleets that had once ruled galaxies, weapons and technology beyond human comprehension. Jax listened intently, absorbing every detail, fascinated and cautious. "You see, human," Kyrle said, "these relics are dangerous. Most species are destroyed by them. You are not most species. Perhaps you can use them wisely." "Wisely?" Jax asked. "Or recklessly?" "Both," Kyrle replied. "We shall see." Jax felt a thrill run through him. For the first time since his disgrace, he felt needed. Not just to survive, but to excel. To prove that humans, even flawed, could stand alongside the greatest intelligence in the galaxy. And as the stars stretched endlessly before them, Jax realized something. Kyrle had chosen him, even if it did not admit it. The ship had its own plans, but it needed a human partner, one clever, daring, and unpredictable enough to survive its challenges. He tightened his grip on the controls. "All right, Kyrle, let's see where this goes. I didn't survive this long to quit now." The alien ship hummed, a low, approving sound. The journey had only just begun. Jax Torrance sat in the cockpit of Kyrle, staring at the swirling colors of a gas giant below. The ship hummed beneath him, alive, breathing. For hours, Kyrle had guided them through sectors no human had charted in millennia. Every system, every asteroid field was a puzzle, and every puzzle was designed to test him. "You are improving," Kyrle said, voice calm, almost proud. "Your decisions are less predictable. More efficient. Perhaps humans are underestimated." Jax grinned, leaning back in his chair. "Finally, some praise. I was starting to think you only mock me." "Mockery is a form of teaching," Kyrle replied. "Do not mistake it for disdain." "I have learned to value your ingenuity," Jax smirked. "Well, I'm glad someone does." The ship tilted gently, scanning the gas giant below. Sensors picked up something unusual, a cluster of alien satellites orbiting in perfect formation. Kyrle's lights flickered. "These structures are remnants of an ancient network," the ship said. "They were once capable of controlling entire star systems. They are dormant now mostly, but their knowledge still exists. If accessed incorrectly, it could destroy everything." "Sounds like a good reason to check them out," Jax said, eyes gleaming. "I don't know about you, but I like a challenge," Kyrle hummed. "I should warn you, many species would die trying to interact with these satellites. Humans might survive. You might be able to use them. Or break them, we shall see." As they approached the satellites, Jax felt a thrill he hadn't felt in years. The human fleet had been about rules, regulations, and careful strategy. Out here, there were no rules, only the unknown. Only the chance to test himself against forces older than any star. "Dock carefully," Kyrle instructed. "These satellites are delicate. One mistake could collapse the entire structure." Jax guided the ship slowly, weaving between the glowing beams of energy that connected the satellites. He could feel Kyrle's presence in every movement, watching, analyzing, judging. But something had changed. He no longer felt like a student under a strict teacher. He felt like a partner, one who could make decisions, take risks, and surprise even the ship. As the ship latched onto the largest satellite, Jax activated the interface. Holographic symbols lit up across the cockpit. The patterns shifted when he touched them, responding to thought and instinct. "You are interpreting correctly," Chiral said softly. "I did not expect a human to adapt so quickly. Perhaps humans are more capable than I realized." Jax smiled. "You underestimate us a lot, don't you?" The satellite pulsed with energy, feeding information into Chiral. The ship hummed, vibrating slightly. "This data is immense. You could use it to change entire worlds. Most species would be destroyed by its complexity. You may survive." Hours passed as Jax worked. He had to learn the alien symbols quickly to understand the flow of energy, the logic of the satellites. Chiral guided him, suggesting connections but letting Jax make the final moves. It was a strange partnership. A human piloting an ancient alien ship, deciphering knowledge meant to destroy civilizations. "You adapt to danger better than most species I have encountered," Chiral said. "You learn from instinct and intuition, not just logic. That is remarkable." Jax chuckled, wiping sweat from his forehead. "You say that like it's a surprise. Humans survive because we think fast, Chiral. That's what makes us dangerous." The ship hummed, almost as if approving. "Perhaps I am learning from you as well." Their work did not go unnoticed. As Jax deciphered the satellite systems, sensors suddenly picked up movement. Shadows appeared at the edge of the star system, ships moving fast, precise, hunting for something. "Marauders," Chiral said. "They seek the alien technology. If they reach it first, everything we have done will be lost, and you could die." "Then let's make sure that doesn't happen," Jax said, adjusting the controls. "We've been chased before. We can do it again." The alien ships were fast, cutting through space like black lightning. But Chiral had already prepared. The ancient ship moved with unmatched speed, diving into asteroid belts and gravity wells. Jax followed instinctively, using maneuvers that no human pilot had ever learned in training. "You are unpredictable," Chiral said, almost in awe. "This is effective," Jax smirked. "Unpredictable keeps you alive, old friend." Together, they fought their way through the fleet. Chiral used ancient energy pulses to disable enemy weapons, while Jax guided the ship through impossible angles. It was not just raw power. It was human creativity combined with alien technology. In a brilliant move, Jax drew the Marauder ships into the satellite field. Energy pulses from the dormant structures activated, forcing the enemies to retreat. Chiral's sensors confirmed the victory. "You may have saved us," Chiral said softly, "not just by piloting but by thinking differently. Humans are unpredictable. That is an advantage." Jax felt a swell of pride. For the first time since his disgrace, he realized he was not useless. He had survived, adapted, and even impressed an ancient alien ship. Days passed as they continued through uncharted space. Chiral began teaching Jax more than navigation and combat. It taught him alien engineering, the logic of energy flows, the history of civilizations long gone. Each lesson was a puzzle, each discovery a test of human ingenuity. "You are learning at an unusual pace," Chiral noted one day. "I thought humans were fragile, incapable of understanding these systems. Yet you adapt. You improvise, you survive." "Perhaps that is why I value your presence," Jax laughed. "Fragile, that's a new one. Guess you never met stubborn humans like me." "You are unlike any human I have encountered," Chiral said. "You combine recklessness with ingenuity. That is rare. That may be necessary." Jax leaned back, staring at the stars. "Necessary for what?" "That we shall see," Chiral replied. Their growing partnership was tested when they discovered an abandoned alien facility on a dead planet. The planet was dark, twisted, scarred by some ancient war. The facility pulsed with alien energy, still active after thousands of years. "You must be careful," Chiral warned. "Most species cannot survive entering this place. Its systems are designed to test intelligence and intent. Failure is fatal." Jax smiled faintly. Sounds like a human-sized challenge. They landed, and Jack stepped out. The facility's energy responded to his presence, opening doors and revealing corridors filled with strange, glowing machinery. He moved carefully, following Kyle's guidance but relying on his instincts. "You think differently than I expected," Kyle said. "You improvise. You understand patterns without instruction. That is human ingenuity." Hours passed. Jack solved puzzles, avoided traps, and even reactivated some systems using knowledge he improvised from Kyle's teaching. Each success brought a small thrill. Each failure Kyle mitigated, ensuring survival. By the time they left the facility, Jax was exhausted but exhilarated. Kyle had been right. Humans were unpredictable. But unpredictability, paired with adaptability, was a weapon. "You have survived tests designed for civilizations," Kyle said. "Few beings could do this. Perhaps humans are not broken. Perhaps humans are necessary," Jax grinned. "Told you, we survive because we adapt. We improvise. We fight smarter, not just harder." The ship hummed softly, as if agreeing. For the first time, Jax felt like a true partner, not just a passenger or pilot. He had proven himself not just to Kyle but to himself. As they left the planet behind, heading toward uncharted stars, Kyle said quietly, almost thoughtfully, "There are greater challenges ahead. Marauders, authorities, ancient civilizations, all will seek the knowledge you now hold. But you are capable. Perhaps humans are not meant to be insignificant. Perhaps humans are meant to change everything." Jax tightened his grip on the controls, eyes sharp and determined. "Then let's change everything, old friend, one impossible challenge at a time." The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of danger, opportunity, and adventure. And for the first time in years, Jax Torin felt alive, capable, and unstoppable. The symbiosis between human and alien ship had begun. And together, they would face challenges no one had survived before. Jax Torin gripped the controls of Kyle, staring at the swirling nebula ahead. The stars were bright, but the light did little to ease the tension. They were heading into the heart of a sector marked as uncharted in human charts, a place where few ships survived. And now, after weeks of exploration, they were about to face the ultimate challenge. "The Marauders have discovered us again," Kyle said, voice calm but with an undertone of urgency. "And they are not alone this time. Galactic authorities are also tracking this sector. You carry knowledge they cannot allow to exist." Jax tightened his jaw. "So what you're saying is everyone wants to kill me?" "Precisely," Kyle said. "But also you have the means to outsmart them." Jax smirked. "Outsmart, huh? That's my specialty." They approached a massive alien structure orbiting a dying star. Kyle's sensors flared with information. This facility was older than most civilizations, a relic of an empire that had once ruled countless star systems. Its energy fields pulsed like veins of light, and it radiated power that made human instruments quake. "This is the source of the artifact," Kyle said. "Its energy can amplify intelligence and manipulate star systems. Misuse it, and entire worlds may be destroyed. You must decide carefully how to proceed." Jax's pulse quickened. For weeks he had wondered what purpose Kyle had for him. Now it was clear. They were at the center of a force far greater than either humans or aliens had ever seen, and he would be the one to decide its fate. Before they could dock, alarms blared. Marauder ships, sleek and deadly, emerged from behind the nebula, their weapons glowing ominously. They were faster, more numerous than ever. Galactic patrol ships also arrived, blocking potential escape routes. Jax's mind raced. "You cannot fight them all," Kyle said. "But you can survive if you use strategy." Jax leaned forward. "Then we fight smart, not hard. Show me what you've got, Kyle." The ship responded instantly, engines flaring as it twisted through space with impossible speed. Energy shields flickered on, and holographic decoys projected dozens of false images of Kyle, confusing the enemies. Jax followed instinctively, weaving the ship through the debris of dying stars and asteroid fragments. "You are remarkably creative," Kyle said. "Most species would panic. Humans adapt," Jax grinned. "That's what makes us dangerous." Kyle guided them closer to the alien facility. Its energy fields responded to the ship, recognizing its intelligence. "The artifact is within," Kyle said. "You must choose. Use it for revenge, for wealth, or for preservation. Your choice will determine the fate of this sector." Jax hesitated. The thought of revenge against the Marauders was tempting. The thought of wealth tempting as well. But as he looked at Kyle, alive, patient, and now almost a friend, he realized something. This was bigger than revenge, bigger than money. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long. Now it was time to prove that humans were not fragile, not expendable. "I choose to protect it," he said finally. "To preserve what we have found, nothing else matters." The ship hummed almost approvingly. "Wise choice. You may be what the galaxy needs, but they will not let it happen without a fight." The final battle began. Marauder fleets surrounded them, energy beams slicing through the void. Galactic patrol ships fired, attempting to disable Kyle. Jax relied on both instinct and Kyle's guidance, dodging, weaving, and striking with precision. He initiated a risky plan. Using the ancient satellites they had explored earlier, he linked Kyle's systems to the energy pulses of the relics. Waves of alien technology surged outward, disabling enemy weapons and scrambling navigation systems. The Marauders were thrown into chaos, retreating in confusion. Patrol ships hesitated, unable to comprehend what had happened. "You are unpredictable," Kyle said softly, "and that is your strength. Humans are dangerous precisely because they think differently. That is why you survive where others fail." Jax grinned, exhilarated. "I've been underestimated my whole life. Guess it's about time someone learned not to." They finally docked with the alien facility. Its energy fields recognized Jax's intentions. Holographic doors opened, revealing the artifact, a crystal-like object glowing with the intelligence of 1,000 civilizations. Its light pulsed, alive, responding to thought. "This is the key," Kyle said. "Handle it wisely." Jax stepped forward, careful. He could feel the weight of history pressing down on him. This was a choice few could ever make. He thought of humans back home, scorned and underestimated, and he smiled. He lifted the artifact carefully, channeling its energy through Kyle. The ship adapted, stabilizing the power. Together, human and alien intelligence worked in harmony. The artifact's energy flowed into Kyle, amplifying the ship's systems without destroying them. "You are capable," Kyle said, almost in awe. "Humans are not broken." "You are necessary," Jax grinned. "Told you. We survive because we adapt, because we improvise, because we fight smarter than anyone expects. That's humanity." Outside, the galaxy watched in awe. The Marauders fled. Galactic authorities, confused and cautious, decided to leave the sector alone. Jax and Kyle had proven themselves, not with raw power but with ingenuity, strategy, and courage. Humans, underestimated for centuries, had changed the outcome of an interstellar conflict. As they left the facility, Jax reflected on how far he had come. Once hated and disgraced, he was now a hero, not because of brute strength, but because he had adapted, learned, and trusted both himself and Kyle. "You think we're ready for the next challenge?" he asked. Kyle hummed. "Humans are always ready. That is why I chose you." Jax smiled, leaning back in the cockpit. The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of danger, wonder, and opportunity, and for the first time he did not feel alone. He had the ship, the artifact, and the knowledge that humans, clever, adaptable, and unpredictable, could face any challenge the galaxy threw at them. "Let's go change everything," he said. And Kyle, alive, ancient, and wise, responded with a low, approving hum. Together, human and ship would reshape the galaxy, proving once and for all that humans were not fragile, they were unstoppable. The journey was far from over, but one truth remained clear. Humans were not broken.